All right, part two of this Ford video. This Ford EcoBoost. I did just pop this plastic cover off the. It just has these grommets. They just pop up. You're not gonna break anything. I did see what appeared to be. It looks like when they serviced the oil, they might have spilled a little bit there. So I'm not gonna jump to conclusion about that. It does look like it has a transmission. Not sure if it's a drain or filter or something right there. So we'll service the transmission. It's 43,000 miles, so it's pretty low mileage. And then again, assuming I don't have a service record, I might hit up the port where this was at, but oh cool. They do have a lifting bracket right here. Anyway, yeah, everything is so compact in this thing. I am not familiar with Ford. This is the first American car that I've really owned. So, yeah. Looks like even the coolant is low, but it's not overheating or anything, so I'm not worried. But we'll pressure test that. I love how they put the PSI on the cap. I was actually just testing my buddy's Audi stuff, and we just assumed it was like 10 to 15 PSI. Granted, 15 PSI was the limit on the gauge of the Astra testing unit. And I sure did drop, so it did have a pinhole leak that we're going to chase down. We think we found it, but that's a different story. The serpentine belt on here looks good. Looks brand new. I got to pop the filter, see what that's looking like. We're gonna change the. Like I said, I don't know when this was last serviced. 44,000 miles, and it doesn't really have any really highway mileage. So it's like 44,000 miles of just sitting there. So that's pretty hard work, regardless. It's just running. It's not getting on the open road and opening up and breathing. So low mileage, but nonetheless, this was probably just driven around a 4-mile facility, or just sit there idling, watching for bad people to do bad things. So it did have a lot of wires. So here's one that I found. This one actually ran. It goes through the firewall. It goes all the way from the. Let me see if I can. So you can actually see it. It goes all the way back into the firewall. And then it actually ran underside of this shield right here. You can see the holes where they drilled and held it in place using these fit-ins here. So I'm gonna use some black weather stripping adhesive to seal those up, just so it doesn't become a drain hole on top of the engine. So we'll seal all those up. And it ran over here, and then it was actually plugged into the fuse box. Fuse box is right here. It was plugged into the fuse box right here. It was plugged right here, so I'm not sure what it. And then it was connected to the ground. And when I found the ground, I was like, oh, that must be the battery. So the battery is actually back here. So the terminal looks good. Looks like it might need a little bit of cleaning, but terminal looks good. Not sure why they tucked the battery all the way up in there, but this is where the battery lives. So so we'll check out the battery, service that. We're probably gonna have to pop these wipers off, which again, we'll change the wipers. This is gonna get a full service because I don't have the service history. So it looks like they've taken it a couple times off because I'm pretty sure this is supposed to have a cover. But having to service the battery and do all that checks probably demands that you take this stuff off, which I'm not sure how that works with this, where it contacts the windshield. But we'll see. If we don't have to take it off, we won't. So we'll check the filter tomorrow. We'll do looks like a .4. We'll we'll probably do new brakes and rotors and fluid, brake bleed. I'll throw these covers on tomorrow. It's just a project car for now. Spark plugs, engine oil, transmission, coolant, washer, all that stuff. We'll make sure the serpentine. And then I haven't, so that's the beautiful thing about this. I suspect the suspension is pretty good, being that it wasn't really driven a whole lot. Clearly it was driven in probably confined spaces, so cosmetic damage, which I plan to like sand down, or actually these are like, probably just get some cleaner, and this will clean up nicely. Some acetone. Yeah, all this stuff, get some acetone. I do have some acetone. I took from the lady. So clean up all this cosmetic stuff. I'm pretty sure a heat gun will remove these, and then we'll just have to figure out how to get the residue off. I gotta look at it. Pretty sure someone does it, and I'll do the same. Clean it up. Like I said, a lot of little lights and stuff. So this thing was held down with a little sticky gooey thing, and they obviously drilled some holes in there. So I forgot what that thing was called, JB Bond, JB Weld or something. I'm not certain what the best method to seal these up are, but I'm gonna seal these up. You got 3 right here, and then you got 4 that held down this light. And then I'm pretty sure this is like a tracking device, so I'm gonna remove that. And then these holes right here are pretty large, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to seal them up. If not, I'm just gonna leave these in place and silicone them around, because these ones are pretty big. So that's what I'm working on. I'm almost tempted to cut the wires and just tuck them in, because I really don't care about these units. I'm not even sure if they're operational. They weren't operational when we got this thing, so they disconnected what they needed to and left the scrap. So I might see if I can still chase the wires down. Like I said, right now I'm just chasing the wires, seeing where they lead to. This one goes through the firewall, and it looks like it goes behind the glove box. So we'll get behind the glove box, probably change the cabin air filter while we're at it, or we'll at least see how it works. And we'll change the cabin air filter. You can tell when folks like get inside of vehicles, because the trim pieces never go back as is. So I don't like messing with trim, because it just never goes back. All these holes are for all the little radios and stuff they had mounted in here. So figure out some kind of filler for filling all those holes. And you got something right there. You got all those wires that are loose right there. So this one was plugged in. Where is that? This one was plugged in, I pulled it. Pretty sure it doesn't connect to anything. But I'm tempted to just, like this one right here that goes behind this trim panel. To cut it. Most of them are tucked behind this seat, this passenger seat. And then they go up inside of this side mount here. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, these are just aftermarket. So I'm tempted to just cut them down there where, like right here, I can see it. You know, I can see where it enters, but I'm gonna try to pull these off without breaking the clips. That's the main concern, not breaking the clips. I did take out all the trash that I could in here. So it's already set up for getting a good detail in. But right now it's just working to pull stuff off that's not part of it. Last thing I want is to have wires still like drawing current and draining the battery. Granted, this looks like it was professionally installed. You can see all the grime down there. I got the cover for that pedal, so we'll have to get that back on there. More like holes in there. It does have this little switch. This is kind of. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna put turbo mode, and then I'm gonna put eject. That's what I'm gonna put. turbo eject. So turbo eject. I'm gonna get a little sticker and put there because it's gonna be a hole that I'll have to plug up. It'll be funny. So so yeah, we'll get a new steering wheel cover just because everyone has touched that one. We'll get something new. Looks like the thing here is peeling. So small stuff. It's all cosmetic. I think the bone of this thing is actually pretty good. And again, it being a fleet vehicle by the city, you assume it was maintained properly and or not abused. Abuse is not. I'm not sure about that part. So yeah, so a lot of wires. Before we talk about wires, I apologize about the light situation in here. But they had a panel right here. I took it off. You can see the holes right here. But I thought they maybe removed the vent. They did not. And this one kind of missed, so it kind of bulged out. So it's kind of annoying. Let's see. A bottle was in here and it actually spilled, and I wasn't sure it actually was in here without gloves. And I figured I might as well. It looks like it was in a spray. Well, it was in a spray bottle. So I threw some gloves on and soaked it up with some whatever. But yeah, I got a lot of cord in here. It's easy to tell what's off the market versus what's original, so you don't cut the wrong one. And then you got this floorboard right there. So I'll reinstall this. And then the trunk. It does have a spare tire, and it looks pretty good, and the jack and all that stuff. I took out that little box that they had in here. I'm not sure if I showed it. They had like a service box. I accidentally discharged a fire extinguisher earlier because it didn't have any type of safety on it to prevent it from having an accidental discharge. So, yep, discharged it. Luckily, there was not much in there. Yeah, this is all like cosmetic stuff, easy to get done. We'll have to take off all the stickers and stuff. Let's get our first look up under there. Actually, I don't think I have. Yeah, it's not a rust bucket. It's definitely not in a rusty area. But yeah, that's that. Like I said, someone backed this thing into something, so we might be able to fill that plastic in, but it's not a big deal. There you go. That's what it is. I mean, the glass are intact, the back ones are tinted and all that stuff, so. But yeah, all this stuff is gonna stay put, and we'll reattack again another day. It looks like something like might have spilled in here. Like I can see all that gunk. You can see it in the back there. Something discharged. Not sure what it is. Yeah, so they had this box in here. This random box. And the fire extinguisher was in there. It's actually pretty heavy. I wish I had a need for it, but I really don't. It's very specialized. Actually, what I could do, I could probably repurpose it if I just cut this lip off. Yeah, I'll probably repurpose it. I'm not gonna toss it just yet. It could come in handy. It looks like a shelf. Actually, I could very well just stand this up on its tail. I don't know, maybe this will be good for the service truck in some form or fashion, because it's definitely well built, and it's yeah, maybe put some paint on it or something. But right now it has some of the old mats in there and trash, so we'll clean it out. But that's tomorrow project. I gotta get this place cleaned up. I've just kind of tossed stuff in here continuously. But that's because I got a million projects going. So this place looks like a mess. I am not a messy person by any means, but I have a lot of stuff to do, a lot of things, and I have a lot of projects going. So we'll get there. I'll get there. And if not, it'll be fun. Never have a dull moment. There's a light on in here. You can see it. There's a light on in there. So I got to figure out what turns that off. I don't know. It might be the hood. Let's see if there's a door open. No, those lights are on. Let's just try to get everything closed up. This door is open. Yeah, like I said, this is the only body damage. And even then, it's not even that obvious, but it's still kind of noticeable. Come on, go to sleep. Why is that light on? Aha, it just went out. I thought it was the glove box I was gonna reach in. But yeah, all in all, we got ourselves a nice little beater car. And like anything else, if you take care of it, it will serve you well. Tomorrow I'm gonna get it on the lift. Obviously slightly taller, so I'm not gonna be able to lift it as high as my car. This thing is probably it's pretty tall actually. So I'm not gonna get much lift out of it in this garage. But that's fine. I'll make do with what I can. Just to get up on there, check stuff out, check the transmission, check the engine oil. But the engine oil, let me see if I can pull that real quick. Let's grab some paper towel, paper towels on the next side. Yeah, I know where that's at. My shop towel is in the truck. Because I've been on 2 road trips recently. One to pick this up and one to pick up the bread truck. And so I've packed what I think I would need on a road trip in case. Well, let's see if we can see this. I don't know if you can see it, but this thing is pretty dark. Nah, you can't really see it. The light doesn't do it justice. But take my word for it, it is definitely due. It's definitely due for an oil change. Plus, you definitely want to see the condition of the engine. So, it uses SAE 5W20. So, I'm pretty sure that's what one of my cars use. Either the Honda or the Acura. So it's good to use the same oil because sometimes you have, a little bit left over and you don't want to throw it out. But if you can use every bit of that oil. I definitely don't, this is the first .4 that I have. So we'll be getting some .4 stuff. But yeah, anyway. Try to post these 2 videos simultaneously, including a bunch of videos with my backyard there, what I'm doing. Anyway, like I always say, like on editing.